Well guys, we got a little project again. There's always something on the go, right? Well, the old tercel's got the stereo in it, right? And it quit on us here the other day. Now, there's a number of things that it could be. You know, everything from a broken wire, or maybe a fuse, or just plain and simple, the deck or the stereo itself is no good. Now, what leads me to believe it's either a wire or a fuse is the clock on the dash has gone as well as a couple of the other lights too. So, you know, I'm pretty certain I know what it is, but we're going to troubleshoot a couple of steps and see what we find. So, you know, armed with my old Tim Hortons and a few of my tools, and let's see what we get. Okay, so now that I've downed my Hortons, let's get at her. So yeah, when you put power to the car, you know, you turn the key. Oh yeah, cold start. Woo! And yeah, you know, you turn the stereo on, you got nothing. You plug the cigarette lighter in, which powers the, you know, XM or the Sirius radio. You still got nothing. And you know, at night these lights here don't work. And you see up here the clock doesn't work. Now, if it was just the stereo, you know, then I would say it was an issue with the stereo. Being there's other things like the dash, the cigarette lighter, you know, the clock, then I'm leaning toward a fuse. I'm glad this is one of the last winters for this car, because yeah, she's starting to smoke a bit. You know, it's been a good run on her. You know, it's been a good car, and she, before us, she wasn't driven very good. So guys, we'll locate the fuse box, and then we'll start, you know, seeing which fuse it is. So yeah, to locate your fuse panel, especially if you don't know where it is, always check with the owner's manual. You know, it'll tell you there. Sometimes they're under the hood, sometimes they're in the dash, sometimes I've seen them where they're like, you know, right there on either side. I've seen them on the older vehicles where they're actually up and under the dash, where you almost got to stand on your head to find them. But in this car, it's right here, just above from the hood release. So we'll open the panel, and it just pops right out, exposing the collection of fuses and other interesting goodies. And yeah, you know, when you're in here, on older vehicles, you find where people have spliced and tapped into and cut, and yeah, it can be a mess at times. And again, if you're not sure on which fuse, you know, powers the cigarette lighter in stereo and dash, check the owner's manual, or on some vehicles it's printed right here on the label. So the cigarette and radio is a 15 amp fuse, and it's supposed to be on your left hand side here. And it should be this blue bugger right there. Now yeah, they're the micro fuses or the mini fuses on most of the newer vehicles now. That's what they've gone to. So you want to extract that fuse. With me, I've got a handy dandy fishing tackle box that pretty much houses all my electrical connections in it. You know, electrical connectors, battery terminal ends. You know, I got fuses and all that stuff. But guys, I'll locate the 15 amp fuse and the fuse extractor and I'll get back to you. So once you've located your 15 amp fuse, you can proceed to put it in. Now of course, as you can see, that little horseshoe type shape thingy right there, that's actually the, if you will, the fuse itself. When that burns out, that little link between the two prongs, you know, will physically be either discolored or melted or like missing altogether. So that's sort of what a fuse is, right? Kind of a link type of deal. So we'll extract the old one. So guys, sometimes you can get a handy dandy little plastic type fuse puller, fuse extractor, but I can't seem to find that one right now. So if you squeeze gentle, if you squeeze gentle like, you should be able to pull it out. Now, remember I was telling you, if it's burnt out, it won't have the connections. If this thing will focus, I'll be able to show you. But anyways, if you can't really see it, as you can see, that horseshoe is burnt out. So this is the culprit. Now, before you put the new fuse in, you know, look in the cigarette lighter, making sure there's no change or nothing that's fallen down in there. I had one car where I must have went through 2 or 3 fuses before I had figured out that there was a dime that went down in there, which was causing the cigarette lighter to short, which would blow the fuse. So we'll put this, we'll put the other one back in, the new one, and there you go. So we'll give power to the system and we'll see what happens. Okay guys, so we popped that new fuse in there. Let's see what happens. Okay, we have clock. I'm not sure if it's picking it up, but it is working. We got nothing. Plug the cigarette lighter in. The old Cirrus powers up, so I'm pretty sure she's fixed now. So let's try the stereo. Well guys, I'm pretty sure she's fixed. She's playing. So guys, what I'll do now is I'll pop the hood and I'll show you if your sub quits working, what to check. So guys, if your amp quits working, you know, that powers either your sub or your speakers. The most common thing that it will be the fuse right in here. You know, another one of them fuses, right? Now it's similar to the older style glass fuses that you'd find in the older GM vehicles. In the older vehicles, like say the 70s, maybe the 80s, except they're, you know, it's bigger and kind of beefier to take the juice, you know. The other thing it could be is one of the things I've had some issue with is either the ground wire has come unhooked from your ground, you know, or it's come unhooked from the amp itself. This blue wire here is the remote wire. Now, not from the remote control or nothing. It's basically the remote wire to tell the amp to turn on. And of course, this blue wire here is the power wire. Now, the power wire, as I was showing you with the fuse, is the same wire that runs all the way up here and connects to the positive side of the battery. Now, I've never had any issues with the positive, lead breaking or coming off, whether it's from corrosion or, from battery acid or just plain flexing. I've never had any issues, but I've heard of it happening. On most amps as well, I forgot to mention this in the fuse segment, but in most amps as well, there is a fuse. On this one here, it's a 60, amp fuse that will blow, that should blow anyway, before the amp has any damage. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much, the whole simple type troubleshooting. Sometimes you'll lose a connection on the back of your stereo, stuff like that. But other than that, the main thing, the first thing you always check are the fuses, because it's like the safety. It's meant to go before there's any real issues. And then the second thing, troubleshoot your connections and all that good stuff. But guys, I was just underneath the hood here, and a lot of vehicles will have a secondary fuse box to take care of all the stuff, we'll say, underneath the hood. You have your horn right here, 15 amp. You have dimmers for your headlights. You have a heater, 40 amp fuse. If your rad fan goes, basically it's almost anything that's under the hood or got to do with, rad or heater system, stuff like that is controlled here. And a lot of the stuff that's kind of in the dash is controlled by that other panel. At least on this car, and I believe on some other ones as well. But guys, I'm no expert by far. This is just some of the stuff I've picked up on over the years, and before taking it to a shop and paying their, $90 an hour or $99 an hour shop rate, try troubleshooting yourself, because you never know. It's probably just something simple that you can fix in your driveway. But guys, I'm going to end the video here. So as always, thank you for watching Maxwell's World. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.